What do you think? What's the catalyst for this event?
I find it really hard to believe that I am the catalyst. I am the catalyst for all of this. I try to be like, why? I try to come up with a why. They're going to dwell on it though. They're going to try to use that as his why. I don't think it's his why. I really don't. I think to myself, if I wasn't in that man's life, would his family still be alive? I think they might be alive, but not permanently. I do not think that this man just snapped. I don't think that he just met some fucking amazing woman and he was just gonna try to fucking murder his family and then think that I was okay with this is just my opinion, but I'm pretty convinced that that woman and him did not get along very well. I don't know if hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt over and over and over again are enough to lead a man to want to take somebody out. I try to be like, why? I try to come up with a why, and I really think that it wasn't even about her pregnancy or another man or me. I have a feeling it was about the money, and I would never justify what he did. I think it's fucking disgusting. It's so, he's such a fucking pig, but I just...
In part 1, we talked about Nichol Kessinger before Chris Watts.
There was a time before Chris Watts. So with the help of a channel called Crime Catalyst, what I'd like you guys to do is subscribe to this lovely woman. She's spent thousands of hours on her stuff, and we want to give her some love, more views, more likes.
We talked a little bit about her childhood, her troubled teenage years, and her criminal record. And I wanted to say thank you to Plunder. She saw my video and went and found the video that I was talking about.
Just watching another YouTuber. Her name is Crime Catalyst, and I'm just watching it, and I heard her mention that she remembered when I went through and looked up and requested, FOIA'd, all this stuff to get Nichol Kessinger's history. So I thought, let me go find those videos. Thank God I found 2 of them. Watch these, voice only coming up, but you'll see at least all the records on the screen as Crime Catalyst was searching for. Thanks for inspiring me to do this, so the history won't be lost.
She reposted the video for all of us to watch, which I know is greatly appreciated by everyone. We've talked about her career, her work in the oil industry, and I read you guys an email where someone reached out to me claiming to have worked with her. And we ended it with her beginning her job at Anadarko. Now we're going to get into the start of her relationship with Chris Watts and the progression of the affair that ultimately played a role in the loss of these 4 beautiful people. With that being said, let's get into part 2, Nichol Kessinger, the affair. According to Nichol Kessinger, she met Chris Watts in June, possibly May.
I think I met him sometime in June, probably early June. It might have been May. It was just talking at work. It was pretty casual.
She claims to have been sitting in her office when in walks Chris Watts. Let's listen to how these 2 describe their first initial meeting.
I think I met him sometime in June, probably early June. It might have been May. It was just talking at work. It was pretty casual.
So it was probably around June 1st or something. That's when I first met her.
And I'd seen him before, they meet in the lunchroom, and that's where I go put my lunch in the fridge. So I'd seen him, but I didn't ever talk to him.
When I went from a rover to a field coordinator, I would spend more time in the morning time in the office trying to get everything situated where we're going to go, everything like that. If I was a rover, I'd be more out in the field instead of coming to the office for more than an hour. Right. That just gave me more time to run into her, pretty much. Yeah.
And we were having some pretty serious equipment issues, and we had numerous amounts of people coming in my office one day, and he happened to be one of them.
It was just a work conversation. I actually messed with the gas meters that we're out in the field, and I was messing up, and then I took it to her hey, what's going on with this? How do I fix it?
So that day we just started talking.
After that, we just ran into each other a few times in the office, and
then every time I saw him in the hallway after that, he didn't have a wedding ring on his finger.
I didn't wear a ring to work because I accepted also to get refitted when I lost all the weight. So,
and it was always hit or miss. It wasn't an everyday thing.
Did you think something like that? I just thought it was just flirting. I didn't think it was actually something that would actually, yeah.
It was just when I saw him, we just started talking, and we just kind of had a lot in common.
So when you guys were meeting, it was just kind of very initiatory, like flirting at first? Okay. From both sides?
Yeah, it was just kind of like feeling each other out. It was kind of like,
Now you know that while these two are just randomly running into each other in the hallways, the co-workers are seeing it. Here's this shy guy who hardly speaks and happens to be married, and he suddenly starts striking up conversations with this girl working in the office. You know they noticed. I'm sure it was very obvious to them what was going on.
And then just hit it off, so we'd always have, pretty good conversations.
I think it was probably the 4th time meeting. She had asked me, because like when we were talking back and forth.
And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids.
I would say, like we moved here Colorado, or from North Carolina and stuff like that. And then she was like, "What's all this weed stuff?" I took out my phone, showed her a picture, like my girl's on the phone. She's like, "Oh, okay." Like, so, like, yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
Kessinger tries to act like she didn't know that Chris was married and had a whole family. But we all know that that's not true. We know that she at least knew who Chris Watts was because she Googled him in August of 2017. Then in January of 2018, she Googled Shanann Watts. Kessinger, of course, tried to cover this up by deleting her internet searches. There was some confusion about this because a records supervisor stated that the Google searches were a typo, but District Attorney Michael Rorick clarified and said that the report actually reflects what was shown on the forensic analysis of Nichol Kessinger's phone. What's really frustrating is that when he was asked if they questioned Kessinger about the data, he stated, "The answer to your question is no. Nichol Kessinger told us that she met and started the relationship with the defendant in 2018. So where that anomaly in the data comes from, I can't answer it for you. I don't know the answer to it. I just can't understand why he's so annoyed about people believing Nichol Kessinger was involved, like he expressed on his wife's podcast, after he admitted that he didn't have the answers to a lot of the questions that we all have surrounding Nichol Kessinger. You're telling me that someone who Googled both Chris and Shanann months and even up to a year before this all happened, didn't know who they were, didn't know that Chris was married and had a family, and that there wasn't some sort of plan behind it, that she didn't plan this out? You'll never convince me of that. That woman got involved with Chris, fully knowing exactly what she was walking into. Anyone from the outside looking in would have seen a happy couple, a happy family, a marriage, beautiful children. This appeared to be a happy home before Nichol Kessinger came along.
And then he told me that those two were in the process of a separation.
Did he mention the children's name or his significant other's name?
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while. And then I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick.
You'll notice that while NK tells her version of first interacting with Chris, she says multiple times that Chris told her that him and his wife were getting separated. She claims he told her that right away. But in Chris's version, he never says that. Never does he say that he told her that they were getting separated. That's what Nikki wants the agent to believe, but he actually tries to get her to be more specific and tell him exactly when Chris told her that him and his wife were getting a separation.
I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick.
Why did he tell you that he was getting a divorce? Was that within the first couple of weeks that you knew him, or was that later on? You said you met him around May or June.
Yeah, it was still in June.
Okay.
It would have been before Father's Day.
What did she know about you? Did she know you were married first?
She did, once I showed her the pictures on the phone. Yeah, like, the home screen picture.
So was your wife in that picture, or was it just your girl?
It was just my girls right there, but my wife was the lock screen.
Oh.
So she knew I was married and my kids.
Okay.
Are you aware that she said she didn't know you were married? What'd you think about that?
I figured it was like, just trying to save face, trying to, just trying to, something my sister said, it was like, just trying to keep things together.
Yeah.
Just trying to, she phrased it a different way, but just kind of like, just like ground control, just trying to control everything that's going on around her.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time? You just
No,
were...
no. I don't know. One day he told me that he had kids and started talking about his kids, and then mentioned, yes, that I have a wife.
So after that, she left me alone for a couple days.
The fact that he showed her pictures of his wife and kids on his phone, and then she decided to leave him alone after that for a few days, shows that she knew what she was doing was wrong. She had a few days to think on it, and she still decided to pursue him.
So after that, she left me alone for a couple days.
Did he ask you out at that time?
No, he didn't. I think he was probably interested in me. And so he talked to me a couple times via his work phone, and I was like, no. Like, it was...
So let's take a look at the very first email that allegedly started it all. Nikki sends an email not just to Chris, but to his entire team. She's basically just letting them know that she has fixed an issue that they were having with an app. Chris, who was probably the only one who responded, said, "Thanks, Nikki. Have a great rest of your day." The next batch of emails is from a week later on June 12th, where Kessinger wrote Watts one sentence. She said, "Thank you for being honest. Truthfulness is so underrated in our culture." Watts' reply seems haunting in hindsight, considering that their entire relationship was built on lies. Chris says, "I'm a straightforward guy. Lying just complicates things." He calls Kessinger stunning and an amazing person. Their email exchange on June 12th got more personal as the day went on, with Kessinger admitting she enjoys talking to Watts and that he makes her feel understood. Nikki says, "I'm looking for someone to build a beautiful life with. Seems so simple, but it's so unrealistic sometimes. Build something similar to what you have done with your wife and those cute little girls." I do believe in karma, so out of respect for myself, you, and your family, I think it's best if we keep that friendship at work. Kessinger ended the email on a note confirming the mutual confidentiality of their communications. In response, Watts proclaimed his own karmic beliefs while assuring her that any conversation they had would stay between them. He says, "No need to worry there." Then he gives her his cell phone number in case she needs to get a hold of him in the field.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time? You just were...
No.
We called each other before I left to go to San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Conversing at work?
Yeah, that's all it was.
She was talking about meeting up after we got back from San Diego.
And then,
Yeah, San Diego from the 22nd to the 26th of June.
no. Like, it was still very, like, friendly conversation. But then when I realized, like, this man is interested in me, I'm interested in him, this is personal, so we got away from the Anadarko thing. We just, like, took it to his phone because I just felt it was, like, better that way.
And so, texts, any calls?
More near the end of June.
I don't know. We started hanging out.
And she texted me outside the field.
And we just continued to talk, and then
after that, we just kept texting back and forth. And it was just, just like she used to work in a little rig out in North Dakota, I think. And we just kind of shared the stories back and forth about what we did and everything. And then one day it just kind of went to a different level, and then I never thought it would ever go to that level. But
Chris texts Nichol on the exact same day that his wife Shanann left to go to North Carolina. He promises her that he's all about loyalty and truthfulness and that he doesn't like playing games unless it's role playing. And he also says, if you want me there, I'll be there. 2 days later, he says, I'm still going to see you. It won't be as often as we like, but I will make it happen. You think you're the only one addicted right now? I'm so hooked on you. I'm so hooked on you? What in the actual is going on here? These two barely know each other, allegedly. Shanann has just barely had enough time to make it to her mom and dad's house in North Carolina before these two are apparently addicted to each other. Here Shanann is visiting with her family, letting them get to know their grandkids, growing her business, taking care of her 2 little girls, while also growing another human being. While her husband is back at home continuing his affair with his mistress. June 29th at 8:12 p.m., Chris says, sleeping without your warm body next to me isn't going to be fun tonight.
one day it just kind of went to a different level, and then I never thought it would ever go to that level. But
we hung out. We went to a park. Hung out at a park.
And we met up after we got back, and
How did you guys meet up?
at a park in Thornton. Thornton somewhere.
Where's the park?
It's like down the street from my house. It's called East Lake Number 3.
Your house
Yes.
in Northglenn?
Yes.
And
This is Nichol Kessinger's house, 12255 Claude Court, unit number 612. It's actually an apartment complex. And this is the park that her and Chris met up at for the first time. East Lake Number 3 Park and Nature Preserve.
and that was in the June timeframe.
Yeah, like the beginning of July. It was like right around my birthday. It's like so sometime at the very end of June or the beginning of July.
Okay. And that's the first meeting you had outside of work.
Yeah.
The basic conversation for a first date?
I mean, we kept it pretty simple, I guess. You know, I don't even remember everything we talked about. We
Sure.
were there for a few hours.
And after that, we just kept seeing each other pretty much the whole month of July.
Let's take a look at their text messages at the end of June and into July. On June 30th, Kessinger suggests that they could take a road trip to the mountains of southern Colorado for a day or two, and she says it won't cost a dime. And this is exactly the type of date that you would plan with a married man, anywhere away from the public. It's pretty obvious that some texts are missing because some texts seem to just come out of nowhere, like this one where she's obviously gotten some advice from a friend who probably told her that this was not a good idea. And she says, "It won't bother me. I'm not going to stop seeing you. I made up my mind." Then she says, "Are we bad people?" Yes. Yes, you are. Chris says, "I'd love to be a part of it. Being in your life is something I crave." Chris Watts gives Nichol Kessinger this card. A year of stuff you love to do and brand new dreams to make come true. One that brings you smiles and laughter and fills your heart with love long after. A million moments day by day that simply take your breath away. Have a birthday as wonderful as you are. This sums up you. Big things will happen this year. Dreams will come true. That smile, that stare, that laugh, that giggle gets me every time. You are truly an amazing, inspirational, and electric woman that takes my breath away every time I see you. You are wonderful. Don't ever stop being you. Happy birthday, Chris. And then at the top of the page she put, "Your energy is so insane. You heat me up, you make me melt, and then you cool me down like rain, which I'm pretty sure is song lyrics. So let's do a little bit of a recap. By June 1st, they meet. June 5th, they begin emailing. On June 14th, Chris enters her contact information into his phone. On June 27th, they begin texting. And then sometime there at the end of June, early July, they have their first meetup at the park. And they talk like a couple that's been together for 6 months or longer. How did this happen in such a short amount of time? Did Cupid fall out of the sky and shoot them with one of his arrows? No, this wasn't the work of Cupid. Agent Tammy Lee believed that Chris had been bitten by the love
What's
bug.
going on with Nikki? It was new. It was new.
Right. Absolutely.
Anything that's new always feels better than the old.
Yes.
You were probably bitten by the love bug.
Yeah,
It's not a lot of therapy.
unfortunately. Yeah, it was just like,
Hello! This here is my love bug. My love bug. Here to give a little hug. Technically an arachnid, but the fact is, his love is just as snug, and that love is contagious. It may just fill your house full of love, 'cause this here's a love bug. The love bug. Come and give him a hug. Yeah!
Can I ask kind of a tough question? Did you love her?
I felt like it was true.
Yeah. I think so too. I think it was the same for her. Okay. Tell us about the time you spent with her.
Chris and Nikki's first date was kind of interesting in comparison to Chris and Shanann's first date.
Yeah, it was like, when we first met, like, was at a movie theater. My cousin's ex-wife set us up.
You were dressed like shit, weren't you?
I didn't.
That's what you told me.
Yeah, I didn't know like that. They weren't
Have any games?
So she was fancy. She was in like shorts and tennis shoes or something, right?
I should know the doorman, was in a suit. I was just like, this isn't good. Like when you're at the theater.
There's a fancy theater, right?
It was in Charlotte. It was called the Epicenter. And apparently, they give you like champagne and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, this is a fancy date night theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he came like he was going to a
Like I was
Cinemax,
like I was going to a
like AMC.
White theater.
No, it was like you just watch the normal movie, but like you can like drink champagne and like have like get Jack and Coke inside the theater and just sit there and whatever. But yeah, like I was like persistent trying to pursue something. I liked her, and even on the first day, like I couldn't even eat anything really. I was just like just nervous. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. She was just like chowing down. And she was like, "You eat like a bird." I'm like, "That's funny." And she taught my parents like months later. She was like, "This guy just never ate." He's like, "This guy eats like a trash disposal." This trash disposal. I was like, "No, that was not around me." I was like, "Well, I'm just nervous." I was just like, I was always like shaking and everything. But yeah, I was always pursuing her, and then just like finally, I grew onto her. Like I even went to her colonoscopy. And she said after that she knew I was like kind of a keeper. But yeah, it was. I mean, it felt like it was a great relationship. Everything was great.
Now you're talking about with Kessinger?
No, with Tom Elston, and like the first year, like my parents never. Oh no. The first time we went out, it was to a movie over at the Orchard, about the 144th over there, and I asked her like, "Hey, you want to go see this movie?" And like, she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And we got there, it was sold out. And normally we probably just have just wait 2 hours, like just go home. But now she just wanted to walk around and just talk. I'm like, okay, oh wow. So that was different, and I think.
So basically, his date with Shanann was more classy, and then his date with Nichol Kessinger was less than classy. I'm trying to be nice, y'all. It seems like this date he thought he was getting with Shanann turned out to be way nicer, fancier, if you will. And then, as it turned out, this less than, more basic date is what he actually got with Nichol Kessinger. There's got to be some kind of symbolism going on there.
Why did I let that keep going? No.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was like a roller coaster ride that I just kept punching it, taking it off, and just never picked it up.
Yeah. So then, and I know it's hard to keep bouncing back and forth, but would you say that in your relationships with women, it seems to me, and you tell me if I'm wrong, it seems to me like you're attracted to maybe a more dominant personality?
It seemed like it because I've been more of the just reserved. I mean, I just kind of like go with the flow type.
Yeah.
And like, Shanann usually made all the decisions, it seemed like, so.
I get that. I'm the same. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I don't think that's right with you, but
The agents spend quite a bit of time asking Chris to compare his relationships with both women. They seem to want to believe that he wasn't happy in his marriage with Shanann. Normally, I would say you shouldn't compare people like that. It's just never a good idea. But it's a struggle to make it make sense. And it's hard to not compare them because you just can't understand what the heck he was thinking. But I guess not everybody agrees. Someone made this post. What happened to Shanann Watts and her family was wrong and disgusting. Shanann bankrupted the family twice, did nothing around the house, and treated him like dirt. He should have divorced her instead for the sexier, more successful Nichol Kessinger. I don't believe that. I don't believe that Shanann was as controlling as people have made her out to be. She was just a go-getter. She was determined to be successful. I loved her energy. Someone said, sounds like you're just trying to make people angry, which is true because the post did get a lot of eye rolls. A lot of people believed that this was Nichol who made the post. It makes me angry to see people talking about Shanann like this, because I see a woman who was trying really hard to make a good life for her and her family. And if Shanann wasn't a good person, she wouldn't have had friends all over the world who loved and adored her.
Like, was someone Nikki felt different? I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like you said, like, you know, I was more in control, and like it was more of like maybe more of me coming out.
No. I think she wanted Chris to believe that he was in control, but she was the one in control the entire time. This was straight manipulation.
I know, like, when I was with Nikki, it was, you know, different. Like, I wasn't even like in the realm of I'm a dad, I'm a husband type thing.
Oh.
And then like I was saying, when I'm never at home, like sleeping in my own bed, like I have no like concept of that anymore.
I think this was a part of Nikki's plan. She wanted to erase all remnants of Chris's life as a husband and a father.
She wanted to go to the car museum, Shelby Museum in Boulder. I've never been there. And
That's right up your alley.
So yeah, I was just like, that was awesome, just to walk around cars for like an hour or so. And then, you know, drag race in Vandermeer.
Okay.
And I haven't been to a drag race since 2008. And that was in Charlotte.
Okay.
Like, that was the main drag strip over there. And it's like the NHRA, the Top Fuel, and fun car stuff. Like, me and my dad used to grow up.
Yeah.
Go there like all the time. And then like went to camping in Sand Dunes National Park, and I'd never been camping. I always wanted to do it. Thought she'd done it like countless times. You know.
But she's a completely new type of person and relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you thinking this whole time? Like,
in the back of my head, I was telling myself, "What are you doing?" Like, you know, every time, you know, I'd open up my phone, I could see pictures like of my wife and my kids, and just like, what am I doing? And then like every time I was with her, it seemed like didn't think. It seemed like it was like a blinder that was on my face.
Oh.
One thing that I'm not sure Nichol Kessinger factored into her plan was Shanann's love for her husband and her drive to fight for her family.
I will continue fighting for my children, for my husband, for myself. And nobody's going to hold me back from my future, my kids' future.
And she was really going to have to pull out the big guns on this one because time's a ticking. Shanann's only going to be gone for a few weeks.
Get the bird. Get the book.
I want him so much. I can't think about anything else. I don't sleep. He has to leave his wife. He has to leave her now.
Perhaps you might find one better suited.
No, I don't want anyone else. He's all I think about. I want him to want me so much that he can't stand it.
Be careful what you wish for.
I never fall in love. I would never fall in love. I hope I never fall in love. I hope I never fall in love. I never fall in love. I hope I never fall in love. I hope I never fall in love.